Here I am with my green box. Okay, excellent. Hello, my name is Eric Johnson. I'm with the California Housing Finance Agency. We're a small agency within the state of California, about 140 employees, and we do loans to first-time homebuyers. And also we help finance multifamily dwellings, apartment complexes, and that sort of thing. So we have a very focused mission on affordable housing. And we're here today to talk about our new accessory dwelling unit program, which is a grant of up to $40,000 to help folks build an accessory dwelling unit on their existing property. And we've already gotten a couple of partnerships with some local jurisdictions, and we're hoping to let you know a little about what we're doing and why we're doing it, and then maybe get some input from you on directions we can take the program so far. We've gotten more than 1,000 reservations for the program, so hopefully we'll see some sticks going up in people's backyards really soon, in addition to the ones we already have. Next, I'd like to introduce Mark Newberger from the California State Association of Counties, who's going to talk a little bit about their work, and a welcome from them. Mark?
Thank you, Eric. Mark Newberger here with the California State Association of Counties. I'm the legislative representative in the housing, land use, and transportation area. I really want to thank CalHFA for inviting me here and for putting this webinar together to provide more information. Definitely the issue of housing is still a major issue for counties, and as far as housing accessibility, affordability. I know the ADU conversation is one that's been kind of happening in the policy world for years. This is kind of the opportunity to move this forward in the county world. I do field a lot of kind of questions on what are ADUs, kind of what role do we play in them, and what opportunities now, or how can consumers, how can homeowners kind of get what the finance they need to make these ADUs happen. I don't have a conversation, I would be it personal or policy that goes by on ADUs where it's not, oh, I want to build an ADU in my backyard. Oh, I know somebody that wants to build an ADU. And then we quickly get into the cost and they think 50,000. I'm like, sorry, we're talking like six figures, 300,000. So financing availability is a key part of it. And HFA has been provided resources and technical expertise to do that. However, they're definitely looking for input from counties and local jurisdictions and cities for the best way to kind of tailor their program. That's kind of it on my end. I'll pass it back to Eric to continue.
Great. Thanks, Mark. I think that gives a really good overview of how counties are involved and what kind of your priorities are and what we can do moving forward. So I'm going to kick it next to Sharyl Silva, who's our presenter for the day, to talk about some of the guts of the program. After that, we'll have time for a Q&A. And if you have any questions, please put them in the chat and we'll get to them as soon as we can. We definitely want to wrap this up in about an hour, if not sooner. So if you have any questions, please get them out there. And Sharyl, take it away.
Thank you so much. So CalHFA has $100 million to help increase production of accessory dwelling units. We rolled out this program almost a year ago. It initially rolled out through our approved lender network, and we have since been also partnering with local government agencies and nonprofits to expand the financing options for homeowners to build these ADUs. ADUs are naturally affordable housing unit, so trying to add additional affordable housing stock is a big priority. And we're hoping that we can get 2,500 potential homeowners to build ADUs with this program. So this is a $40,000 grant, and it can be used to cover pre-development costs and or closing costs associated with the financing to build the ADU. So some examples of pre-development costs include permit fees, impact fees, architect designs, and utility hookups. Like we were talking about earlier, it's very expensive to build an ADU, and these costs can quickly add up to $40,000. So with that, we are hoping that we can at least help with this portion, and they just have to get the financing to cover the actual construction cost. This is for owner-occupied properties only, and we do have income limits, but we are definitely moderate income, and I have some examples here for some counties of the income limit. So in the Bay Area, we're talking, $282,000, Fresno, Tulare, $159,000, LA 180,000, San Diego 211, the Inland Empire 173, and the Sacramento region 202,000. So we're definitely targeting a moderate income household, but we are seeing quite a bit of low income households as well applying for the grant, and they either have their own money or maybe they own their home outright and they're able to finance the construction of the ADU and then get this grant to help them as well. So as of to date, we have issued 1,200 reservations. We have funded approximately 500 ADUs in about 40 different counties. We've reserved 48 million so far, so a little under halfway through the money that's reserved, and we've funded a little over 20 million. So it is definitely picking up pace. When we first rolled this program out, it was only to the lender network and it had to be a specific kind of financing. But now that we have it open to the nonprofits and the local government agencies, that really expands the opportunities for people to get the financing they need that is maybe a little bit outside of the normal box. So they don't necessarily have to do like a renovation loan through a lender. They could get a HELOC through their local credit union, or maybe they have gift money or retirement funds that they're using. It just makes it so whatever kind of financing they have available, they can still get access to the grant. So as of today, we have the regions all here on this pie chart. We're in 40 counties, so we are covering a lot of California, and this is all of the different areas that are our top producers as of now. So LA County is about at 33%, but they do account for like 60+% of the ADU production in California. So 33% of the grants so far have gone to LA, about 20% to the Bay Area, 11% to San Diego, 9% to Orange County, 8% to the Inland Empire. So we're definitely hitting all regions of California, which is really great. We didn't want it to be all concentrated in one area, and our hope is to at least have one in every single county would be amazing. So as of today, we have 19 lenders that are approved that can offer our grant with their renovation financing. The key for us is that the lender or the nonprofit or the government agency that we're working with has to manage the funds. It cannot be given directly to the homeowner. They have to manage the funds, they have to manage the construction project, they have to make sure the work is done, and make sure to get us an occupancy cert. This way it protects our financial investment and makes sure that every grant that we issue actually turns into an ADU. And it also protects the homeowner, because most of these homeowners are low and moderate income. They've never done a renovation on this scale, and we want to make sure that they have this extra help in doing their projects. They're not taken advantage of by a contractor or anything like that. And it will be a successful process and actually build an ADU. The local jurisdictions that we're currently partnered with is the City of Pasadena, the San Diego Housing Commission, and the City of Oakland. So the City of Pasadena, we have 2 programs approved with them. The first one is $150,000 short-term financing program. I think it's a 3-year loan that they have for the construction of the ADU. And then they also have a $75,000 short-term financing program to legalize a unit. So if they are bringing a ADU up to code, they can use their program, the $75,000, and then up to $40,000 of our program for the pre-development costs. The San Diego Housing Commission also has a renovation type loan that they're doing, and we're partnering with them so that they can do their loan financing for the construction costs, and they can use our grant funds for all the pre-development costs. The City of Oakland is actually partnering with a credit union, and the credit union is doing the financing, which is Self-Help Enterprises Credit Union. They are on our website, and we are approved with them. So when they're doing the financing, they can also apply for the grant for the $40,000. We also have 2 nonprofits that are currently approved with us. So NPHS, which is in the Inland Empire area, they are also a ADU manufacturer dealer. So they are able to offer financing. It's similar to a HELOC to buy a manufactured ADU, and then we have our grant to help with the pre-development costs for that. And then last but definitely not least is HPP Cares. They are a nonprofit that is just doing the third-party construction management escrow. So any homeowner that has money or any kind of financing can come to them. They can deposit their funds with HPP Cares. We deposit our $40,000 for HPP Cares. So HPP Cares would have all of the money, and then they manage the construction project. So they make sure the work is done, they release the funds, they do all of that. Again, adding local government partners is so key, because if we can partner our program and leverage what we have with what you have, it can definitely help. Our guidelines are pretty broad, and usually the government agency guidelines are a lot more strict. So your guidelines would probably be what you would need to follow. So if you have like lower income limits or more restrictions, that's totally okay. We would just follow whatever your guidelines are. So I do have some toolkits and some information. It's actually in the handout section of the GoToWebinar. So if you go into GoToWebinar and you go to the handouts, there's 2 handouts in there. There's a copy of this presentation and also a media toolkit that's in there. And then if you are offering any kind of ADU financing, we can definitely get you an application so we can partner with you so that you can use your funds and our funds together. But maybe you're just doing like streamlining permitting or anything like that. We would still like to get our information to you so that you can hand it out to people who are applying for permits for the ADU grant, or to build an ADU, so they can get the ADU grant as well. And then I also want to talk to you about some barriers to offering local government financing for ADUs. And at this point, I actually do have a couple of polling questions. So let me get those over to you here. 1 second. Oh, there they go. Okay, so my first polling question is, does your agency offer ADU financing? So please mark the box if you do. And we'll give that just a second. We got about half of the people have voted so far. Okay, awesome. So it looks like about 23% of you do have ADU financing available. So we will definitely connect with you to make sure that we are partnering and we're doing our program with your program and trying to leverage as many funds as possible. And then 77% of you do not. So I want to here open a different poll, share those results real quick. And then the next poll is, what is the key obstacle for offering ADU financing? So if you don't offer it, what is the reason that you don't offer it? It could be that you just don't have the financing available, or the staffing available, or the expertise available, or it could just be all of the above. Maybe you don't have any of those things that can get you to where you can do a financing program. So I've got about 40% of you have voted, so I'll give it just a little bit longer here so we can see. Okay. So I'm going to close that poll and I'm going to share it. So 67% say all of the above, and 33% say money. So that's really, really helpful for us. We do have a pot of funds that we are looking at different possibilities for what we can use that for. And one of the ideas that's been floated is to help local government agencies do an ADU financing program. So 33% of you say that money is the issue, so we'll definitely be reaching out to you as well. And this is our ADU grant flyer. It is on our website. Anybody can use it. And if you don't have a program, if you want to print these out to put them in your permit office, or when you are emailing people the permit information about ADUs, you could maybe include this in there just so that they're aware that this grant does exist. And this also has the link to our website. So I did want to open it up for Q&A. Everybody is muted, so you can raise your hand and we can unmute you, or you can just type your questions in the questions pane. So I'll go ahead and give everybody a minute to do that. And then we also have Molly Ellis on here. I'm sure many of you have talked to her as well. We're basically the two that are doing all the ADU stuff right now. And then we also have Ellen on the line. Ellen, did you want to chime in at all on anything about the possible funding opportunities that we can do for local?
Oh, my camera's not quite working. All right, no, thank you, Cheryl. You really covered it quite well. I think we just want to emphasize to this group that we do have opportunities, and we want to hear from our local government partners about what the barriers to ADU financing are for your community. And we want to continue the conversation about how we can help. And we're certainly looking for input with regard to how we allocate this new pot of funds that we have in a manner that we hope can not only continue to incentivize and stimulate new ADU production, but hopefully and ideally create the opportunity for these funds to be recycled, potentially by providing seed capital for a local ADU financing program. So that's something that we're interested in evaluating and hearing from our local government partners with regard to the viability and sustainability of a program of that nature.
Thank you, Ellen. We did have a question come in, and it is this a one-time opportunity, or will there be future funding available? So the ADU grant right now is set at the $100 million. If this program is successful, we will definitely inquire for additional funding. It'll just depend at that time whether or not we'll be able to obtain any additional funding. And then the funding that we're looking at for possibly partnering with local government agencies, that is a one-time pot of money as well. But again, depending on how successful it is, what we can do is we can, go back and ask for additional funds if it is proven to work and be successful. I know that the state of California, it's a very high priority, ADUs are. So right now it's a hot ticket item. We can usually, at least get someone to listen to our ideas and if we need additional funding. And is the 40K grant paid in a lump sum or on a reimbursement basis? So it would be a lump sum. So how it would work is we would fund the $40,000 into the managed construction escrow account, and the other funds for the construction would also be in that account. So there'd be one account with all of the money to do the entire project that would be managed by either a lender or a nonprofit or a local government agency. But we send it all in one shot. It's all just one wire. And I'm looking on here. I did see the city of Napa on here. I think it's Jennifer. So Jennifer, I do want to reach out to you. I was speaking to one of your colleagues, but I believe they're not there anymore. But I know that you guys have your junior ADU financing program and would love to connect with you so that we can get you guys signed up so we can use our program with that. Are you, I'll pose the question and you guys can answer this in the chat. Are you seeing any success with doing your streamlining permitting? And are you seeing an increase in ADU requests because of maybe some changes that you're making internally to make it easier to get an ADU? Oh, everybody's shy. Nobody wants to answer. Or if anybody wants to raise their hand, I can definitely unmute you if you want to share your experience that you've had with ADUs and what you've seen that's successful or not successful. And we did have another question. Does the ADU grant program lenders also provide loans for the cost of construction, or are they just managing the 40,000? So yes, they're providing loans for the construction because it has to be a fully funded project. So what that means is there has to be enough money in that escrow account to cover all of the costs to build the ADU. So some of that money is coming from us, some of that money may be coming from a loan, or maybe the borrower's funds, but there has to be enough in the managed escrow account to complete the project. So do you have any marketing materials we can provide to our front counters? And yes, so the screen that we're on right now is a copy of what the flyer looks like, and we can absolutely send you the link, and then you can either email it to people, or if they're actually physically coming in to do the documentation, you can hand them out as well. So we'll get you that link so that you have it. Okay, so Jennifer, we are working on a really expanded ADU loan program using new funding. The JADU program is steady, but hoping our new expanded program will move the needle. Our goal is a common set of underwriting guidelines with all jurisdictions can adopt within the county rather than the city, but programs that work together. Awesome. Yes, I'm so very interested to have this conversation with you, Jennifer, because now you've piqued my interest even more. But yes, we definitely need to partner, and your expanded program sounds awesome. If you can, we'll connect. We'll get a hold of you very shortly. And then Molly, if you wouldn't mind, can you put a link to our marketing materials in the chat pane so everybody can see that? That would be great. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, I can do that.
Okay. Do we have anyone else with any questions? Or let's see, any hands raised yet? We've got a shy group here. Let's see. And then let me also ask this question to maybe spur a little bit more conversation. What are you hearing when people are coming in and applying for permits? What is the biggest barrier that you're hearing? Is it financing, or is it the permitting process, or is it construction costs, or are you seeing anything specific that is more of an issue than not? And again, you can just type your answers in the chat pane or in the questions pane. All right. Financing costs, access to labor and materials is the biggest barrier. And then Kevin also said financing, and that's what we're seeing too, but we wanted to see if there was anything else out there that maybe we were missing, but financing definitely seems to be the biggest hurdle for people to get the all the construction costs covered. Okay, awesome, thank you so much. Well, I hope today gave you some great information, and I hope that, you know, if there's an opportunity for us to partner together, that we can absolutely do that. You know, ADUs is not going away. It's definitely something that's going to be here to stay for a while. So I definitely want to hear any feedback that you have, or any ideas you have to partner, or to, you know, create financing opportunities, or anything you're hearing out there in the world that you want to let us know. It would be super helpful to communicate that to us. And thank you all so much for attending. Eric, did you have any additional thoughts?
Yes, I did. I wanted to say thanks so much to Mark and the California State Association of Counties for helping us put this together. Please also spread the word to the folks you meet out and about when you're making your calls about what other jurisdictions are doing that you can, help fix or not have to reinvent the wheel. Anything you hear about ADUs, we'd love to hear in terms of what's on the ground, what's working, what's not working. We may have some additional funding that we can work with over the next few months. And so we'd love to have ideas on what might work for your jurisdiction. And again, thanks for taking time out of your mornings to join us. And we're looking forward to getting a whole bunch more ADUs built in California. Thanks for your help and have a great day.